Have you ever wondered what really separates a real estate gold mine from, a total money pit? Well, it almost always comes down to one single concept: cash flow. And once you get this, it will completely change how you look at investing in property. So let's break it all down.
We've all heard it, right? Real estate is this surefire path to wealth. You just buy a house, wait a bit, and get rich. It's practically a guarantee. But what if I told you that's not just wrong? It can be dangerously wrong.
Okay, so here's the surprising truth that catches so many people off guard. Some properties don't put money in your pocket. No, you actually have to feed them money from your pocket every single month. They become this financial black hole.
So just picture this for a second. Two houses right next to each other. They look almost identical on the outside, but one is silently making its owner wealthier day by day, while the other is just draining their bank account. So what's the secret? What's the invisible force making all the difference?
Well, the answer, and honestly, the secret language of smart investors, is cash flow. It is the single most important number that tells you if a property is working for you or if you are working for it.
All right, so what exactly is this thing called cash flow? Let's get into the simple but super powerful definition.
Put really simply, cash flow is the profit you get to stick in your pocket at the end of the month. After you collect all the rent and you've paid every single bill tied to that property, the money that's left over, yup, that's your cash flow.
And here it is, the beautifully simple formula behind the whole thing. It's just your rental income minus all of your expenses. The number you end up with tells you the real story of your investment's health. So when you do that simple math, you're only going to get one of two results. If it's a positive number, hey, congratulations. The property is literally putting money into your pocket. But if it's negative, that property is actively taking money out of your pocket. Now, that total expenses part of the equation, that's where things get really interesting, because it is almost always more than you'd first think. So let's deconstruct what you're really paying for.
Yeah, just look at all these different costs. You've got the obvious ones, right? The mortgage, the taxes, insurance. But here's what separates the pros from the rookies: accounting for the hidden and unpredictable costs. Things like a broken water heater, a month the property sits empty between tenants, or even saving up for a new roof 10 years down the road. Forgetting about these? Oh man, that is a classic mistake.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's make this real. We're going to run the numbers on a hypothetical property to see exactly how this all plays out in the real world.
Let's say our rent is a pretty healthy $3,200 a month. That's our starting line. Now, let's watch how fast the expenses start to chip away at it. First up, the big one, the mortgage. And boom, right away, that takes out a $2,000 chunk. Next up, property taxes. There goes another $400.
Insurance is going to take another 100. We're already shrinking.
And here are the ones most people forget to plan for. You got to set aside money for future repairs and potential vacancies. So let's earmark about $300 for that.
And hey, unless you want to be fixing toilets at 2 a.m., you're probably going to hire a property manager. That's another $300. So after all of that, what are we actually left with? So let's recap. We started with $3,200 in rent, but our total expenses came out to $3,100. That leaves us with a positive cash flow of just $100 a month. Now, I know that might not sound like a lot, but believe me, that positive number is everything. And that little $100, it might not seem life-changing, but it's the key that unlocks this incredibly powerful financial concept, made famous by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This right here might be one of the most important lines in all of personal finance. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. It is such a brilliantly simple filter for looking at everything you own. The only question that matters is, does it pay you, or do you have to pay it?
So let's look at our property through that exact lens. It generates a positive $100 every single month. It puts money in our pocket. So, by this definition, it is a true asset. Now, think about this. If it had cost us just $1 a month, it would be a liability. Simple as that.
So why is this one metric so important? Why do all the savvy investors call cash flow king? Well, it's because of three powerful benefits that go way beyond that $100 a month. First, you get paid today. You aren't just gambling on the price hopefully going up years from now. Second, that positive cash flow is your safety net.
It protects you when the water heater breaks or the economy gets a little shaky. And third, and this is the most exciting part, it's the key that lets you scale your wealth.
And this is where the magic really happens. One property cash flowing a few $100 a month is nice, but it's not going to let you quit your job. But what happens when you find 10 of them? Now you're looking at thousands of dollars a month in passive income. That is the real path to financial freedom.
So, you now have a new financial superpower. You can actually see the difference between a real asset and a liability that's just disguised as one. You can separate the gold mines from the money pits. The only question left is, now that you know what to look for, how are you going to go out and find one?